This presentation here, this video deals with lines, linear equations. Slope of a line is a number that tells us how steep the line is and which direction it goes. Move along the line from left to right and are climbing, it is a positive slope. These are all positive slopes. The steeper the line, the larger the slope value. One has the greatest slope. One has the smallest slope. We compute the slope by taking the ratio of how much the line rises, goes up, and how much the line runs up, goes over, rise over run. See there the ordered pairs. Rise over run. We took 2 points in the line. Compute the rise by looking at the difference between the y values. We compute the run by looking at the difference between the two x values. The run over there in red, and you can see the rise in blue. The ratio of rise over run is going to be change in y divided by the change in x. Letter M to designate the slope. Our slope formula. If you move along the line from left to right and it's descending, it has a negative slope. All negative slopes, the steeper the line, the larger the absolute value of the slope. Basically means if you ignore the negative, the larger the number, the steeper the line, but in the negative slope direction. The line there. You look at the slope of the line, you see that it's increasing from left to right. So you know it should be a positive number. Points on the line. We have slope here, the change in the y divided by the change in x. Distance here. Y is 2, the change in x, 1 to the other is 1. You have the ordered pairs there. 2. The location of the point 0, 0. Okay. 1, go up 2. Slope. What if we had chosen 2 different points on the line? We would have had the same result. Ratio is the same from one point to the next. Change in y divided by the change in the y coordinates divided by the change in the x coordinates gives us the same ratio from one point to the next. Doesn't matter which 2 points we pick, we'll always get the constant ratio of 2 for this line. Look at any 3 points here. They'll have the x coordinate of 3, have the y coordinate of 3, and x coordinate values. Let's choose 2 points to find the slope. The x1, y1, the change in y is going to be 0. So the slope in this case is 0. Notice the pattern. They have the same y coordinates, so the slope is 0. That means as you go from left to right, you're not rising and you're not falling. So there's no change, 0 slope. The equation of this line is y equal to 3, since y is everywhere along the line. General, the equation of line is y is equal to b, where b is the y coordinate for any point on the line. Because here we have 3 points. Notice here, the x coordinate is all the same. Find the slope here for 2 points. Choose 2 points. Notice the x coordinates are all the same. So we plug in. We have the change in y divided by the change in x. We have division by 0. The slope is undefined. The slope of a vertical line is undefined. Divided by 0. In this case, you can't go from left to right on a line. There isn't a left and right. You say it'll go from left to right, that means there'll be a change in x. The x is the same, so there isn't a left and right. The equation of this line is x equal to -2. Since x is equal to -2 everywhere on the line. So the slope of a vertical line is undefined. And the slope of a horizontal line is equal to 0. Easy to remember, 0 slope, because the line does not slope at all. It's horizontal. Easy to remember, undefined slope, because you can't move from left to right. It's vertical. We often have points on a line, but want to find an equation of the line. And the equation of the line contains these 2 points. Plot the points on the graph there. Keep the slope. You know how to do that. Slope formula, we find our slope is -3/2. Pick a general point on the line. Plug in for our slope formula there. By both sides by x minus 2. What do we have here? There's an equation for the line. Get rid of the parentheses here. In the fractions, we'll have something that's called standard form. We get rid of the parentheses. Distribute there. We write that y minus 2. Through by -2, negative there. We have get our x and y terms to one side, constant terms on the other side. Now we have something in standard form. You can choose any x and sub it into the equation, you get a y. Put in a 0 here for x. So we can solve for y. Minus 1. 1 is on the line. So this equation here is actually the equation that represents the line of solutions. Any input I put in here give me an output, and it's part of the line of solutions. What we did to get a formula for finding the equation of a line, let's call it a specific point we know, x1, y1. Again, apply both sides by x minus x of 1. Rearrange it a little bit. Here, which is called the point slope form of a linear equation. Given any point in a slope, we get an equation for the line. And also use it when we know 2 points on the line. You find the slope first, then use the other to find the percentage. For example, here I have a point and a slope. Plot that point. I'm going to change in y, I'm going to change in x. Change in y is increasing by 2 units, and my change in x is increasing by 1 unit. I change this right here. 5 is changing by 2 units. Change in x is changing by 1 unit, so I'll go up 1. Changing by 2 units. 1, -5. So this will be. They're going up this direction. Change remains the same. See it here. -5 plus 2, -3. -1 plus 1 is 0. The ratio remains the same. And you can find the next point. You can repeat this with another point and get a third point. You can have 3 points and graph the line. You can see the change in y increasing by 2 units, and change in x is increasing by 1 unit. 1, -1. So now you have 3 points. You have 3 points on the line. Graph the line. Using the formula here, you can plug in your slope m and let that be your x sub 1, y sub 1. There's your equation. So let x equal 0, and it gives me if y is -3. You can pick another x. Third point here. This form here of a linear equation is called a slope-intercept form. It contains the slope and the y-intercept of a line. Call that the slope-intercept form of a line. This example here, given an equation, find the slope and the y-intercept. And the slope is solve for y. Subtract 3 and add 4 to both sides. And divide by -4. Have a slope-intercept form. Here I can see what 1 point on the line will be at. When x is 0, y is -1. So my slope is 3/4. 0. So you can use rise over run. Go up 3 and over 4. Three over 4. repeat this.